and welcome to this pretty impromptu Netrunner stream for today. If you couldn't tell by the thumbnail and the description, we are going to be playing some Sable today. And I wanted to... so someone in the comments for the last video requested that I do basically my deck building process. I'm not sure how much we'll do of that today, but there's some of the deck building logic I'll talk about now. And basically what I have on the screen here to the right is some questions and considerations that you probably want to have anytime you're building a runner deck. Today specifically we're building a Crim deck, so I also listed some Crim downsides and some upsides to playing Criminal. But yeah, so today I'm gonna be trying. I'm gonna be playing two different lists. One that is from way back, and it's which is this one, Perfect Symphony. It's basically a Sable list that I played for President of Servers in the UK. That actually it went undefeated in that event. And it's a deck that can be really good if it's up against the right opposition. There is an older version of this that I also played at König von Deutschland that played Resekis, but of course that card was banned, so you can't play that anymore. But yeah, so let's go over, before I talk about these decks specifically, let's look at this deck building, I guess, principles or thoughts. So when you're deck building a runner, first of all, you want to have sort of a plan. What is your runner doing? Because otherwise it's kind of hard for you to, I mean, I don't know, justify why you're putting the cards in that you are. Sometimes this is relative to what you are facing in the meta. I mean, there's always some kind of I guess relationship between, it's like the hen and the egg. Like, is your plan good because of the meta, or it, well, never mind. Is just your plan, do you have a plan on your own that sort of is sound? And yeah, that's kind of what I wrote here. Does your deck work in a vacuum? So you want to have a plan, then you want to know if your plan works in a vacuum. Sometimes whether your plan works or not, or usually it depends on the corpse that you will be facing. But here are some general concepts or corpse that you sort of have to consider, at least right now. So there are fast advance corpse, there are corpse that are not fast advance but simply just fast corpse. So fast advance would be like sports or some kind of outfit fast advance. Fast corpse is maybe a PD or other kind of corp that scores out quickly. You have net damage grinder decks. You have some core damage decks around now with Thule and maybe some sports lists as well. You have decks that try to tag you and kill you. I guess one type of deck that I missed here was asset spam decks. Then there's shell game decks, there's slow corpse, and in that you could include things like net damage grind, but in general slow corpse are glacier decks, so decks that play a lot of ice and slowly shore up their servers. Rig shoot decks that just try to win by getting rid of one of your breakers, so that you can't break ice anymore and you just lose because you can't get into servers anymore. Then I put Trieste Ag as one thing by itself. Oh, hi Harald. I put Trieste Ag as a thing by itself because that is something you need a pretty particular response to, I think, a particular tech card if you want to deal with that. Maybe Hunting Grounds or something different. And also decks that try to create unassailable remotes, like a PD playing Madagarm, Skunkworks, and Anoetic Void, so you can't get in. You may need some kind of plan for things like that. So this is sort of like what you're considering. And then about the deck, again, you want a plan. And you want to see if the deck works in a vacuum. And the typical indicators is, do you have enough money to play your cards? Does your rig fit within your memory constraints? So when your rig is completed, do you have enough memory to fit all the cards that you want to have on the table? Is the final rig that you're assembling strong enough to beat the slow decks that you want to beat? So it could be just that your final rig is not efficient enough against slower decks that put a lot of ice and you get taxed out. So maybe you want a plan for that. And then another question is, do you find the cards that you want to put into play quickly enough? And this can be a problem with either you don't have enough draw, or you don't have enough tutoring for the cards that you need, or you don't have enough disruption, which means you don't slow the corp down enough to buy you the time that you need. And now we get to the actual cons of playing Crim and the pros of playing Crim. So Crim they're bad at drawing. They have very little in-faction draw that's cheap and efficient. You have the Class Act, like in basically every Crim list. It's a good card, but it only draws you 4 cards for 4 credits. The main benefit, of course, is that this gives you filtering for the rest of the game. That makes it easier to find your cards, which ties into one of the does your deck work in a vacuum things. This makes it easier to find the particular pieces that you need. It also means that you can include more situational cards, because if you're drawing 2 cards, if one of them is situational, you put it on the bottom of your deck. Yeah, so we have bad draw in Crim, so we often need to import to draw. We have fragile breakers. By that I mean, so Anarch has bin breakers, so they can usually get them back from their heap, and often they're playing multiple copies. Problem with and then with Shaper, they usually don't play many copies of their breakers, but they have Simulchip to get them back if they get trashed, or at least a lot of Shaper builds do that. It's pretty popular way to build Shaper, because yeah, you can use the Simulchip for other things as well. But in Crim, you usually find that you're only including one of each breaker, because if you include extra copies, it just blocks your hand. It just slows you down in so many ways, and yeah, it just becomes inefficient. Which if you're playing the rig shoot matchup, of course it would be good, but the problem is it doesn't help you in all the other matchups. So you have a problem with rig shoot, fragile breakers. You have some tricks to get around this problem, but they are not permanent solutions. So you have a boomerang that can break 1 piece of ice, but yeah, losing a breaker, you often build your Crim in a way where you can't get it back. Then you have the fact that your econ cards rely on running. So in this deck that we have on screen, for example, you have Bravado, where you have to make a run to get the money. You have Carpe Diem, where you don't have to make a run, which is an upside of this, but you can make a run. Dirty Laundry, you have to make a run to get the money. Diversion of Funds, the same thing. Then you have cards like Zenith Chip, where you're making a run to draw cards. And Info Bounty, which is another card where you're making money when you are running. So, and this is a problem because, well, sometimes you're up against the corp and they just defend all their servers, and suddenly most of your economy is completely shut off. You can't do much with those cards. You end up with a bunch of dead draws. You end up having to click for credits, and that's not where we want to be. So we need to keep that in mind. We need to have sort of a solution for that to mitigate that issue, or justify us playing that way anyway. Maybe we'll say, well, most corps will not do that, or we will gain enough value before they ice, and then we can get in through cards like Boomerang and so on, so it's gonna be okay. So those are problems. We are also, as Crim, weak to damage cards and tags. We can... so this has a little bit to do with the fact that we only play one of each breaker. So if we take random damage, then we can lose our breakers. Of course, we can install the breakers to prevent that, but then there's an upfront cost just to not have the risk to lose our cards. This is something we have to keep in mind as well. But in general, yeah, we kind of have to play a lot of cards to put pressure on the runner, and the more cards you have to play as the runner just to keep your game plan going, the more susceptible you are to net damage, because you are spending a lot of your cards yourself. So if your opponent is then dealing damage to you, you run out of cards quickly. So that's a problem for Criminal. And tags, usually we have to pay the normal amount to clear tags against hard-hitting news. Yeah. I guess, yeah, so the way you can, as Shaper, you can get around that with misdirection. But yeah, and Anarch, they have more burst economy that's not run dependent, so they're usually safer against those kinds of things. Of course, you can sometimes have Link as Criminal, but I digress. You can play Citadel Sanctuary and stuff, but I would still say it's an inherent problem. The Crim Pros is that, so our problem is, yeah, we have trouble with speed. So bad draw means we have trouble with speed because we're not fully ready to do things before we put all our breakers on the board. That's when we really get going. In the meantime, we're sort of surviving on tricks. That's one of the pros that I put. So we have tricks to get into servers. Like Inside Job can get us into a server easily early, but it can only sustain us for so long. Same thing with Boomerang. We can't just rely on these cards forever. They are temporary solutions that get us through the early game and create threats that the Corp needs to respond to. So it's ways to slow the game down because our opponent needs to respect them. So that's the tricks are ways to make up for the fact that our draw is bad, to drag the game out. Same thing I wrote here, that we can slow down our opponent with cards like Diversion of Funds, Tapworm. Also wrote 419, but we're not playing 419 today. So those are cards that make our opponents lose time. So Tapworm makes them lose a turn, essentially, if they want to get rid of it. And if they don't get rid of it, we gain time, you could say. Diversion of Funds takes away their money. That's another way of slowing them down. And at the very least, they have to respond to this threat, always respect it, put ice in front of HQ, even if you don't have it. So just the existence of it is very powerful. So that's sort of how we try to compensate for the fact that our draw is bad. We slow the game down, try to buy time to find all the pieces that we want. We try to put pressure in different ways to waste the Corp's time. Our breakers are efficient. That's another pro. We have Bookhalter and Amina in faction. So Amina is pretty nice because we can drain credits. Usually very efficient breakers. Same with Bookhalter. Our fractures are not very good, but we can import Paperclip. Yeah, and also a click compression. So all these run effects that we get money from and draw from, like Zenith Chip, Dirty Laundry, and Sable, of course, because we're playing Sable today. They stack. You can get all of those effects on one run. So that's another thing. If we put a lot of cards on the board that synergize with runs, we can get a lot of click compression and get very efficient runs. Of course, again, our opponent can prevent this by playing ice. So let's get to the actual decks of today. So let's bring this, put this away. And the first one I would say is the most ambitious one. I'm not sure yet my feeling is that the old deck is actually better than the new one. But let's have a look at this this criminal. So first of all, we are being very ambitious here because we are playing Maw in this deck. So that's a way to try to slow the corp down and limit their options by trashing their cards, which is normally not something Criminal is doing. You're usually leaning on the ability to get rid of their credits, which we're also doing. And this is something that happens on runs. So we're trying to combine the inherent value of successful runs in the Criminal faction with a console that does the same but more powerful than Paragon. And it provides 2 memory, which we will make use of. So yeah, this but you have the problem that this console is very expensive, and also you have a lot of pieces that you want to get on the board. The other Sable list that we will have a look at is leaner. There's less stuff that you need to put on the board to start doing what you want to do. But the final, I guess the final form of this Maw Sable is more powerful if you can get there. So we have Maw, this gives us 2 extra memory, the ability to trash cards. We have yet another card that we kind of want on the table, the Zenith chip, that gives us extra draw when running central servers, which we want to be doing anyway. And then I think a staple in Sable should be Carpe Diem. It gives you 4 and then lets you run your mark. So you get your click back if the server doesn't have ice, and you get the money. Clickless money, really good, and also means that you can install Tapworm without really paying a click for the run that you are using to run on the central server. So Tapworm is at its very best in Sable. You get your click back. And yes, you also have, let's see here. Yeah, you have Info Bounty for the same reason. Synergizes with the ID, this click compression once again. Same thing with Dirty Laundry. And one of the cool things here is that we can fit Sneak Door Beta in the rig because we have +2 memory. So if they ice HQ a bunch, we can still drop a Sneak Door and hit HQ, trigger Maw. So our final rig that we're aiming for is something like Amina, Buchalter, Paperclip, Shezvi, and Sneak Door. So Shezvi is part of the plan to make your final rig that I talked about, having a final rig that's efficient enough. Shezvi is part of that, sort of a final piece to the puzzle to create a very efficient rig for you in the end. And then you're temporarily using memory slots for Tapworms. So that shouldn't be an issue. Yeah, so you're trying to slow your opponent down, wasting time purging Tapworms. While you're setting up. Problem is you have a lot of things that you want to set up. Sneak Door, Maw, your breakers, a lot of things that you want to find. And that is the main weakness, that we have a lot of pieces. So in the other list, once again, because I'm not going to go over all the slots here, you can see them on the screen, and we will also see the deck played very soon. So in the other deck, this is an old list again. Once again that I brought to UK team event, and this one you can we are playing Virtuoso as the console instead, and this lets you skip Sneak Door Beta, because you have a card that lets you get into HQ basically without running HQ. So this is sort of like a Sneak Door Beta that makes them basically makes them want to ice all servers, and also means that agendas are never really safe in HQ, so they feel pressured to put them on the table. And we have Docklands Pass to synergize with Virtuoso. We're not playing, so this list is playing Info Bounty, because we are playing Maw, so we still want to access cards. But in this list, we are instead playing Security Testing that only costs 0 to install, because if we're running our mark, we can get the money from Security Testing and then still breach the server that our mark is on. Yeah. And also, this deck, because we're not playing Maw, has the influence to play Deep Dive, which you get from for free from the ID that we're playing. Again, you're importing D-Cell, you sort of need this. So if I bring up the deck building thoughts again, so we can sort of look at the corp threats here, and we can see that yes, we're probably going to have problems against Rig Shoot Corpse. We don't really have a plan against it. Same with Trieste Nonsense Ag. Our only way around that is Inside Job. Against unassailable remotes in both of the lists, our plan is to hit centrals hard and therefore make it harder to establish an unassailable remote, or we win on their centrals. So we can do that with Deep Dive. In the Maw Sable, we can do that by slowing them down with Diversion of Funds, hitting them with Maw to make it difficult to sustain that. And what else do we have? So for tags, we have one copy of networking in each deck. Shell games is just whatever, I guess. We just hope to win the shell games. Core damage, we I guess just try to play carefully and not take core damage. Net damage grind, once again, is a problem. We tried in this deck, it's probably not a good matchup for us to face some kind of PE grinder, but we have efficient breakers in the end, and we can set up Jesvi plus Bookalter to at least have efficient accesses. Same in this list. And what else? So fast corps typically don't defend all their servers super well because they can't afford to play that much ice, and that gives us a lot of room to abuse our criminal run economy cards. So usually we're better against those corps because it's much easier to trigger all our nice little abilities that trigger off of successful runs. So that's sort of how we deal with fast corps. Sort of same idea with fast events. We hope to steal, because they have underdefended servers, we are sort of okay with them scoring from hand and stuff if they want to do that. We can't do much about it except hit them back. So we have Deep Dive and stuff to access a lot of agendas. We have Virtuoso in this build. In this one, we just try to make use of the open servers, so we can get Maw triggers and stuff. I would say this the Deep Dive build is much better here because Deep Dive is a much bigger threat to those decks than losing a card here and there, I would say. Yeah, sometimes you can get to 4 points and then you just play the Deep Dive to close the game out. Yeah, so those are the Sable lists for today. I'm going to take just a small break and then I'll be back actually playing. Feel free to ask any questions and... Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Asker, I will answer your question right away. And to Dunge, hello. So I'll be right back. right, welcome back. So I will. So Asker asked a question about pinhole threading, which I will get to. Let me just get to Jinteki and adjust my face here, because I'm supposed to be over here when I'm playing. So let me create a game. We're gonna start with the Maw Sable. And yeah, so again, I'm not convinced these decks work in the meta. I'm a little more enthusiastic about the Deep Dive Sable, although I already know that it has weak matchups. Anyway, so to the pinhole question, yes, I will say I am way less hype than everyone else about that card. Probably partially because I missed the whole prison period where you could get rid of Nanisivik grid with the card. But to me, it seems overused. I think I may be underusing it. Maybe I should put at least one copy in some of my decks, maybe more. But I just see. I guess it also depends on what you view as the good corpse. Because I see some matchups where it wouldn't do anything, like PE Grinder. It would basically do nothing, and yeah. So it seems kind of niche to me, and a card that could be dead in a lot of cases. I also see that. I mean, it's a card that can kill Rashidas. It can expose agendas. But I cannot. The more cards that are situational that you put in your hand, the more your hand just fills up with stuff you can't use, and that's sort of how I feel about Pinhole. Okay, so this hand was absolutely terrible. So I'm almost tempted to just play the class act and click for money, because this hand is so bad. Yeah, we're up against PD, where we want to be fast. Oh, JNet loud again. Let me see if I can fix that. See my overall sound. Wait, is my... Let me switch headphones because I can't hear anything now. Okay, now it should work, I guess. All right. Yeah, let me know if the JNet is better now. Yeah, so this first turn looks terrible. Maybe I draw one first to see if I can't get into HQ this turn anyway. Oh yeah, I believe I did change the volume in JNet, but maybe it doesn't remember my settings. Yeah, I'll make this play. So put one diversion of funds on the bottom. I think the other cards are really nice right now. Yeah, so as tempted as you may be to throw down Sneak Door, you would afterwards, after hitting that one card in HQ, you would be out of money and you would be super sad. Especially if they ice archives. But now this looks... So we're kind of unlucky with the mark here, because we don't want to be hitting HQ right now. But we could play Diesel, go up to 10 cards, then play 3 of them. No, that's... Yeah, we will lose a bunch of cards then. I guess we just draw one normally, and then we can pitch the paperclip. Yeah, I think... yeah, keeping the tapeworm is probably good here, because they basically need to purge every tapeworm we put out. So go R&D. We see a Chrysium grid. Annoying, but we can put a tapeworm down. And I didn't, like a true pro, I didn't think through my entire turn, but I think I'll play this Mutual Favor to install a Book Altar. Because we want to play one card. We don't want to be discarding two. Yeah, let's go for that. And we pitch the paperclip. So, again, one main issue is getting all your breakers out. We have two of them, and we have a Mutual Favor for the third, so we just need the money. We want our console as well, but we're building the rig slowly. One problem, of course, you can run into if you don't have Pinhole is you can get hit by Skunk Void remotes. There's probably other things that I'm not thinking about right now. So we just like... The game wants us to play Sneak Door and hit HQ, but I do not want to do that. So, a buddy of mine, he wants to corp against the Maw Sable. This should work out. Alright, so we find our console. I think Miss Bones is not what we want right now. And we would like to get the tapeworm out, but then we have to discard a bunch. So I think we just have to play Sure Gamble and Daily Cast this turn. Yeah, Dunch in the chat. The game really agrees with you that we need to hit HQ. But I don't know, I have to disagree with the game. Maybe in next turn we'll finally get the mark on something else. Because then we can maybe get both Maw Trigger and Tapeworm out in the same turn without even spending a click. Okay, I guess we're not that lucky. We got it on Archives, but that's not very useful. But we can get both Maw and Tapeworm this turn triggered. The run on Archives doesn't do anything, unfortunately. Well, actually, yeah, we can check the card that is trashed by Maw for free. So we could, for example, draw, play Maw, run R&D, run Archives, get a click, play Tapeworm. Yep. Networking is not useful in this matchup, so put down Maw, run R&D, Drafter, and now we can check Archives for free. And now we can play Tapeworm. So yeah, this kind of needs to be purged. Or we get 3 billion credits, roughly. And he's not purging. That's inadvisable, I think. We hit Archives again. So I think we can start by playing the Class Act and see if we get maybe a Dirty Laundry or something that we can play on R&D. We get Info Bounty. So we can start getting those triggers. So we'll start by hitting R&D. Nice. We steal an agenda. So now I think we put down Info Bounty and run Archives and get our click back. And then we can run R&D and get a Maw Trigger, hopefully. Yep. Nice. Alright, so board is starting to come together. This Oh, okay, so this was the idea. He gets 3. He still gives us 4 credits for free, so I don't know that this is correct. But I guess he was scared to lose this agenda to Maw, and so felt pressured to go for this play. So this is yeah, and don't do this, folks. Don't draw last click. Draw first click. Plan your turn. Okay, so now I will agree with the game. Now it's time to play this sneak door and get this extra click. So we're gonna get both the money and the Maw trigger. It's gonna be beautiful. And so we can play a daily cast as well. And do we draw beforehand? I think so. But not purging this tapeworm is crazy. We're just gaining too much money. They absolutely need to get rid of this, or we're gonna be so rich that there's no way to come back. Okay, I'm gonna start with the sneak door. We get an off-world. I guess we just go in again to get the Maw trigger. Yep. Biotic labor. And then we can get Amina with mutual favor. And play the daily cast. So this is going really well. Okay, now they got the hint, purged. We draw. I don't think we want to run R&D this turn. I have like JNet trauma, so I'm like thinking about the drawing one more time to not die to snare. That's a card that doesn't fit at all in this build, and still. But I guess it doesn't hurt to do it in that order either, so let's do it. And then we can hit this, and we get rid of a border control. It's pretty nice. And we can put down another daily cast. So ideally now we want the piece that we're missing is just Jezve, and then we can start making some really value runs here. Archives is the mark, so we use diesel. We already have our info bounty, so we can put that on the bottom. And if we bravado archives, then we are pretty low on credits, so we can't even break a drafter. But Carpe Diem gives us the money before the run, and then we could force a res, I guess. Or I could just play Diversion of Funds first. No, it's probably a bit premature. Yeah, let's go archives, because most ice I think we get our money back. Yeah, so we can break this, make him lose 1. So we spent 2 credits essentially, and we got a click back. Not bad. Force the rest as well. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if there's any eyes that we're super worried about here if I play Doof. So border control could be a thing. But we have the money to break it, and then it would need to be popped. So I think Doof may be a good idea here. Actually, yeah, is Hagen okay? I think Hagen is okay as well. Should be a 3 strength. Yeah, Hagen is okay. Okay. So we do get the doof. And then I want to get Maw trigger as well. So we are greedy. So let's bravado HQ and not play around snare this time. Let's be real. There's no snare, right? Can't be. Seamless launch. And we trash it. Okay. Drawing. A bunch. Okay. Mark on R&D. We can draw first. There's another doof. We don't need boomerangs. We have all the breakers we need. I think draw one more time. Bravado R&D. That's a seamless launch. Actually, one thing that I should be considering this situation that I wasn't is breaking this remote and clearing it off those upgrades while he is low on cash. But this isn't really the best time because now I only have 2 clicks left. Ideally, you want 2 clicks left over. And I guess I'm not in a super hurry to do it either because I have diversion to get him low. And then I can go and basically get rid of all of those. So hedge fund. Okay, so that should be a perfect opportunity to play doof. So we do it. Doof. And run. Yeah, I want to trigger Maw, so I want to make a run where I access something. So we check R&D. Oh, it's Rashida. We can... I think we can let that be. So we're about to hit the remote, I think. And then we make a draw. And now we get our Jesvi. Okay. Well, inside jobbing server 1, I don't think makes sense when they don't have to rest the ice. Like, I can just run it. I have all the breakers to trash it. Probably there's Manic Arm in there that they would want to rest anyway. So installing something that is probably a Spin Doctor. So let's check. Yep. And we can run R&D now and get the Maw trigger and get our click back. Actually, we don't get the Maw trigger because we were stealing an agenda. I guess we run R&D again then. To get the Maw trigger? Or do we try to get into server 1 this time? He's still so low on credits that it's basically impossible to defend server 1. But Maw isn't as good right now. So this could be because there's 8 cards in hand. He has to discard anyway. Yeah, let's try to break server 1. Global food. Alright, so that's a good game. Alright, and I know my buddy wanted to play against this Maw, and he's probably gonna destroy me too. Let me poke him on Discord. Yes, let me find him. That was yeah, that was basically the ideal game. All right. Yep. Yeah, of course he's playing the PE against us just to humiliate me in front of everybody. God damn it. Well, this will demonstrate, you know, what I was talking about before. General issue with net damage as Crim, I think. Not to say that we can't win, but it's bad odds. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, this is my buddy Leopold. He is in my testing group. And I think he's playing PE very similar to the one I brought to Worlds last year. He made some changes of his own. He actually posted a version of this list called Apex Predator that got Decklist of the Week a little while back. So this hand is looking, I mean, not terrible. Well, no, well, it is kind of looking terrible. Yeah, it will mulligan this. All right. We got two of the things that can make a hand good. Maw and Tapeworm. But we don't have any... Yeah, we don't have any... We don't have any money cards. And spending a lot of time clicking for credits is not a lot of fun. I think maybe against this list, it can be possibly nice to hit R&D with Maw early. Start trying to get rid of their pieces early. Of course, there's the problem that there are a bunch of agendas that you don't want to steal against this deck. Then they all end up in archives, and there's News Team as well. So I think this is just a trash matchup for us. We're just gonna lose. But let's not be too pessimistic. We're gonna try. All right. So he wants the URL of the stream. We get hit by snare. So do we trash the snare or do we get the Maw trigger? So in the list he posted, he plays Retribution, and we can't shake this tag. So YOLO. We could not trash it, get a Maw trigger, and run again and trash it. That's also a way to do it. Because I can't shake this tag anyway. Yeah, so we could just lose our Maw here, and then, you know, we might as well concede. Okay, he uses... I should probably have considered this. He used a Spin Doctor too to get the cards. But then again... yeah. Yeah, so he trashes the Maw. Yeah, so we're screwed. We're basically dead. We're actually worse off than when we started. Damn, he's bragging now. Okay. This list typically plays, well, when he posted it, plays 2 retributions. So we're not safe from it yet. But we don't really have an incentive right now to clear the tag. And if we draw, we might get the networking to get rid of it instead. So the main reason we want to shake tags now is so we can actually play our economy resources. Yeah, do we want to run archives for free here? Or do we assume that he just put a bunch of nasty things there? So one of them was trashed involuntarily, and the other he pitched himself. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I guess I shouldn't think too hard this game because we're sort of bound to lose anyway. Okay, let's run. Let's make him use the spin doctor if he wants to. Yeah, it's a sting. We get our click back. Draw. Yeah, we draw again. So now if we want to put this info bounty down, then we have to clear tag. So yeah, we could put down the info bounty. We lose dying to snare. We risk dying to snare, but I feel like I have to be a bit greedy at this point. So credit, info bounty, run R&D, get the money, clear tag is a potential play. No. Never mind. If that's a sting, then I just die. So let's not do that. You can check this card. News team. Yeah, do we go tag me or we put it in our score area? Yeah, we probably can't afford to be tag me, honestly. Eventually retributions circle back and our breakers get trashed. So I'll add it to the score area. I guess, so we can take a clickless access on R&D, but then we risk losing the info bounty. Maybe that's fine. Yeah, let's go for it. House of Nice. It's a good steal. And Tapworm might be a nice install here if he wants to click for credits. Yeah. We can't die. He can score a 2-1, but that's not a kill. Or a 2-0, a Kusanagi. I'm afraid that this is going to be a terribly grindy game, folks. But, yeah, I'm not very optimistic about my chances. So we do get some money from the Tapworm. That's nice. So we draw. We got our Maw back. Yep, it's the one with stuck buyback. So next, when he's now at a point where stuck buybacks will give him 8 credits each, so he's gonna start having a really easy time resting his big eyes, and it's part of why we are super duper screwed. I still don't really have to clear tag, so I can get up to sure gamble money first. Yeah, take a credit. So next turn could be credit, gamble, clear tag. Yeah, this PE deck is still really good, and one of the problems for runners is you have to consider this deck, but also a bunch of other decks, and this deck is hard to beat on its own. Like, just even if you focus your efforts on beating this deck, it's not obvious how you do it. And still, you have to consider Fast Advance and Glacier Corps and blah, blah, blah. So, it's scary. But we're not dead yet, so take a credit, play a gamble. Actually, I still don't need to clear this tag. So I'm doing things in the wrong order. So it's playing and talking at the same time. Let's draw, then class act. Okay. We do have 1 point, so we just need to steal 2 oboes and we're fine. Yeah, I think this version has no barriers, just like my old version did. And maybe you play one just to... Oh, he even spends the money to trash the info bounty because he has infinite money with stock buyback now. Yeah, how do we do... What do we do this turn? I don't want to be discarding cards. Yeah, we have clip in the bin, but so to Daijin in the chat, you don't do Fast Advance PE. Like, maybe you could stick an Audacity in there, but I wouldn't recommend playing Fast Advance PE. I was talking about like other decks, like you know, Sports Metal, Outfit, those kinds of decks that try to Fast Advance. Making a runner deck that is good against both this and those is a challenge. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so let's run archives. So then we can put down the tapeworm, and then we can get Book Altar, and now we have to clear the tag, or he can Retribution the Book Altar. We have no way to get it back, and I think he has to purge. Yeah, now he's purging. We do get archives, which is what I wanted, so I can click info bounty, run archives, and get the money back. We get the money, and wonder if it's maybe time to force this Spin Doctor to be popped. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm actually prepared to spend the 2 credits if he leaves it there. I'll just draw again. Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing to Quilena in the chat. There's a lot of 40 card runners that might, like, maybe you could make them good somehow, but since you have to consider this kind of stuff, it becomes really tricky. So losing our Sneak Door Beta really hurts, because now he doesn't, like, Ice in Archives, it's not that important anymore. And looks like a scoring window for him. If I want to contest this, I have to risk face planting into an Anansi. Oh yeah, this is kitchen table Netrunner. No, but so the channel overall, I would say is like some of it is kitchen format, some of it will be retro formats, old formats. The Netrunner stuff is not that. Okay, now we're losing our maw. Yeah, when it comes to Netrunner, I mean, that's different because I'm actually keeping up with releases. It's not some old closed format. So this is kind of different. Okay, so we draw. Yeah, I guess it's possible to win without our console, but we have to get some incredibly lucky accesses. I don't even want to play the diesel because that basically makes us lose 1 hit point. Oh, that's what you mean. Okay. Yeah, okay, yeah. Patrick made that point last time. Yep, it's actually in the kitchen. We can finally get some run value here, so... At least if we get Chesv down, we're pretty efficient at breaking ice. And technically, we can get incredibly lucky and hit the cards and just hit the oboes. It's incredibly unlikely, but you gotta play to your outs. Okay. He's icing centrals a lot. I'm wondering if I have to play diesel to find Amina on time. And then the other question is if we contest this or not. Because if that's, I believe he was on DNA tracker. If that's a DNA tracker, that's game losing, I think. So I'm gonna dig. So we find mutual favor. Yeah, so to zombie, I mean, I can't save all the cards in my hand. But yeah, it is a consideration. Like, yeah, what cards do you save for HP, and what cards do you use to what cards do you actually play? But if I think if I click for credits the rest of the game, yeah, I don't know. It might be I might soon be at that point where that's what I want to be doing, just clicking for the credits. But I don't know that I'm there quite yet. Because I still need the money to install Amina. So I'll play another sure gamble. And then I also need the money to be able to break ice. Otherwise, I can't contest anything. I can't threaten to steal Obokadas. And I want to be able to contest things he puts in the remote, potentially. Actually, this was probably the turn to contest the Spin Doctor, because now he can just pitch the agendas in his hand. So that's kind of a big mistake, but then again, he might have already drawn into another Spin Doctor. Still, at some point, you need to contest the Spin Doctor. Yeah, so we want to force Spin Doctor to be used. And what else? It's a tricky situation. He doesn't have that much money, but a stock buyback can easily change that. Yeah, we start by drawing. Because we might just draw the Amina and then we don't have to search for it with mutual favor. We try to hit the Spin Doctor. And yeah, let's get the amino. We have to install it as well, so we don't risk losing it. We still haven't seen... Okay, there's one diversion of funds that we lost. One of those could actually be good here. But we're... Yeah, 20 cards left. So probably we want the rest of our cards to be hit points. And our mark is HQ. So I think we draw, first click. They got for what, Asker? Yeah, I'm wondering here if I should take credits and then doof HQ next turn. No, if you only run double advanced cards, then they're gonna score House of Knives and Stings. Each sting they score is 4 damage. Yeah, it could be a Regenesis play too. And stealing an oboe here means you lose 2. It means you lose to sting, so it's sort of... Although 2 stings are gone, you have to make a call. So if I try to contest the server, then that's... Yeah, it could also just be Kusanagi or News Team, but let's go for it. Because I don't really have the money to contest the server right now. Yeah, it's Kusanagi. So I draw and I take a credit. Yeah, so every House of Knives he scores from here on out. That's 4 damage. We have 19 cards remaining. Taking 4 damage each means you have 11 cards left. Then there's anemones that can deal 2 damage each. Then you're down at 5, means you can steal 1 oboe. So you basically need at least 9 cards left over to steal oboes, or you lose. Meaning you have to... There are some scores that really hurt you, and that's the whole point of the deck. Is if you just sit passively, you'll just slowly lose cards to House of Knives scores, Sting scores, other things too. And I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So let's see what he did. Rest Spin Doctor. Installed an ice on R&D and stuck buyback for 12 credits. Seems pretty good. Seems pretty good indeed. Yeah, so my lines of play are dwindling in terms of number. Especially because if you go for an oboe steal, it could be like the last ice on the server is Anemone, and then you lose 2 cards before you have a chance to hit an obokata, and then you can't steal it, and so you just spent all that money for basically no reason. Yeah, and Doof is becoming more and more useless, so that's... well, I mean... He can't res infinite ice right now, but still, yeah, Doof is also, you're losing a card. You have to look at it from that perspective as well. Yeah, I think, so I want to force this Spin Doctor to be popped. And he's shuffling back 2 stuck buybacks. Depending on the ice here, I still need more money. Because Anansi is... What is it? It's 7 to break, but 5 for the first one. But if there's 2 Anansis, then that's 12. And then it could be something else. That's worst case, but still. If I run it, I at least want to get an Axis in, I figure. So let's take money. Another ice. Another stuck buyback. Alright, so we have our marker on R&D. So, and we basically have 20 credits to spend on breaking ice. So what could we break with that? 2 Anansis is 12, then we have 8 left over. We could even break a 3rd Anansi. So technically we can break whatever he puts in front of us. As if, yeah, 19 HP left, we run R&D, we try to find the oboe. But then of course he could just res an Anemone. And the problem is if you try to preempt the Anemone. So this we can break for cheap. If we try to preempt the Anemone, and this we can break for free, then, and it's size Sentan. Okay, so we break it for 4, and then we get, well, we steal a House of Knives. That's not bad. So we get a card back, and we just take our money. We bide our time for the next axis. I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, stealing a House of Knives is not bad. I mean, of course, another path to victory is... oh yeah, I was saying that if you try to preempt an Anemone res, then they can choose to not res the Anemone, and then you have to discard cards if you don't take net damage. So it's kind of a lose-lose. Okay, so I could go for an access on HQ here. Of course, pretty likely that we see a snare in HQ. Because a lot of the deck is gone. But yeah, we have to try. Another positive thing is spin doctors are running out. Oh, we have an outermost tithe, and this we can always farm each turn for 2 credits for a click. So there we have the first Anemone. We encounter it, we break it, and we continue. We might still see a 1-pointer that we want to steal. Break the tithe. Okay, if it was another Anemone, then we jack out, but now we want to see the card. And it is the snare. Okay. So we have to trash the snare. Remove the tag. And we draw back up. And don't play the class act. We gotta keep that HP. But okay, I mean, so we break ice very efficiently. It's a hybrid release. Okay. So he's installing something from archives. Gaining $1 billion again with the stock buyback. And... yes, so we can... getting into HQ costs... it's 2 for each of them, but we get 2 back. And then Shesvi also gives us 2 back. So essentially you're paying 2 credits to get into HQ. You also get the click back from Sable. But if we're not at 5 cards, we shouldn't really be going for accesses. And we can't do it last click, because if we steal an oboe last click, we can die to hybrid release being scored or whatever agenda is in the remote being scored. We will not be installing this scenic chip. So we draw again. And we just make a normal run on HQ to farm this tithe. Back to him. Yeah, I'm curious now what he put in the server. It could just be another Kusanagi that he wants us to run. All right, another ice on HQ, so the price is going up. We could run archives to see if we can farm it for money. And we can. Then I guess the question is if we poke something else this turn, but I think we wait until the mark is somewhere else. And we just pass. Yeah, we still need to get super duper lucky to win this. I'm just betting that server 3 is a Kusanagi or a news team, so I'm not going for it. But of course we don't know. Yeah, he's trashing the card again, so it's probably something like that. And yeah, what could it be now? Our mark is HQ. Game wants us to run HQ. And I will comply, I guess. So it could be a Regenesis play, but I don't really see him putting an Obokauda down like that. Can't imagine it. It could be. Maybe I'm misremembering the scenario. We'll run HQ. Yeah, it could be. So it could be Obo, but but then he put the oboe in that case. He put the oboe there in a situation where I can kind of just go and snatch it, which I mean that's not something we can rule out. But that just I just don't think that's what happened. So it's Spin Doctor. Okay, we had a Kusanagi. The opposite of what we want. And we just draw a card, get credits. So now we have, how much HP do we have? 11 HP. So I can afford to steal 2 oboes still, but yeah, or He shuffles back stuck buyback and snare. Stuck buyback again. Okay, we got the mark on R&D, so let's fish on R&D. I should maybe not be breaking the gain credit subroutine on the tithes actually, because at this point he has basically infinite money. So let's not do that. Yeah. Break the net damage. He can gain the money. Break it. We see a card. Come on, Oboe. It's a Regenesis. I mean, still gets us closer to winning, so why not? Draw again. Take money. And yeah, we could just get hit by Regenesis. I don't think that's what it is, but let's see. Oh, is he waiting? Triple advance. Triple advance. Why? That's what I have to ask. Why is this happening? Well, if it's Regenesis, why would he not, like, why would he leave it there? Because leaving it there implies he wants me to run it. I think it's an Obokata, and that there's anemones in front that make it impossible to steal it. That's my read. And then I would rather check R&D. Yeah, I don't think it's a clearinghouse. You don't have the influence. I know you're joking, but still. Okay, it's not Regenesis. Okay, very good. Then we don't run it. Yes, we break this. Yeah, I feel like I should just try my luck. Oh wait. So we make him gain a credit instead of paying. Hybrid release. We are at 4 points. We just need to hit that oboe. All right, let's just keep going. we can still do it, guys. So after my reasoning, Asker changed his mind. It's no longer a Regenesis. So I'm guessing it's Sting or Obokata. Oh, it's Kusanagi. So somebody said you could run the server until the anemone to diffuse later oboe. No, because then I don't have enough cards in total left. So let's say there's 2 anemones on the remote. Then my total card count after that is going to be 4, which means, well, I could still steal an oboe, but then like just 1 score means I can no longer steal oboe. So triggering anemones now could be just deadly for me. So he has actually a counter on Kusanagi. Very unusual. I think you can add the subroutine with Kusanagi after I break. I guess so. I can break and then he can add Kusanagi. Huh. Well, he says no. I'm not sure how that is ruled. Like if you've fully broken something and then a sub is added, I think you still have to break that sub. All right, we're just gonna assume that's how it works. I don't actually have to draw before running. Yeah, so we just check R&D for the oboe. So that means I have to pay 2 more with Amina to break the oboe, because he's adding a sub to the DNA tracker. Yeah, it's weird. Like I can get a lot of successful runs, but not a lot of total accesses. Gains 1. And if we hit oboe, we win. So question is how many oboes can there be in R&D? That's not an oboe. Unfortunate. Yep, we take the money. So this could be the oboe in server 3. We don't know. He's drawing. Interesting. So he scores a House of Knives. I'm surprised to see a draw. If he has anemones on archives, maybe it's an attempt to protect an oboe in HQ. But no, I don't think so. I don't know. So he installs the card in server 3. All the spin doctors are gone. Pitches another card to archives. Maybe this is to make it look like a Regenesis play. Or it could just be a Regenesis play. Mark is still on R&D. I still feel like we should check R&D. Because it's still a win if we hit an oboe. And it's possible that one of them is still left in R&D. Of course, he knows that, so he probably assumes that we'll go for it. And he might have already drawn all the oboes. But I still think it's the best out. So, yeah, let's go for it. And at this point, he should use House of Knives on all of our runs. So we break the net damage and we let him gain. This is the longest game on stream so far. Okay, come on, oboe. Let's get oboe. It's not oboe. Why is it not oboe? Oh, man. Okay, what if I trash this? I could see another card. I could draw a card and see another card. DNA tracker is 4 to break. Pay 1 for the tithe, 4 for the size and 10. Oh, but it costs 1 to trash. So I guess no. So I have to draw a card to not die to House of Knives. Yes, we just leave it. And this could be a Regenesis play now for the win. We've only seen one Regenesis. And of course there could be Anemone on Archives, which would mean we can no longer steal oboes. So I think I just have to risk it. But I think, yeah, it makes sense for him to go for a Regenesis play here, because I don't think I can stop it in a meaningful way. If I run Archives... Oh, but he's not going for it. Well, there are hidden cards in Archives. To Zombie. Now there's a lot of cards in Archives. Thing is, with running R&D is you know what the ice is, so you know an Anemone won't be rest. And if an Anemone is rest now, it means we can no longer steal oboes. So, funnily enough, I still feel like the right thing is to hit R&D. Because I just, yeah, if we see an Anemone, we lose. And it could be on either Archives or Server 3, or maybe one on both. And both are losing for me, so I'm just going to hit R&D. And we have to hit oboe. We break 1 net damage. Yep, he gains the money. And we break this. Obokata, come on. It's Regenesis. So, okay. So, what is our idea then? Yeah, I'm not sure. So he can deal 1 more damage. We have 3 hit points, meaning we can no longer steal Obokata, regardless if there is an Anemone or not. And I don't see why he would pitch 1 pointers to Archives. Probably there's Obokatas there. And then Regenesis or something in the remote. And I can't afford to break the ice on the remote, I think. It's gonna be his more expensive ones, because there's 3 tithes here. Yeah, so I can't do anything. Pretty sure I just lose. And he's taking credits. I don't understand what's going on, but okay. Maybe he's pitching an oboe now for the Regenesis play. I still have to steal 2 points, so this is looking grim. Yeah, bah, it's I've been feeling like I lost the game for such a long time, but we have all these narrow chances to win. Like we had some single accesses where oboe would be game, and now we can no longer steal oboe, so that's out the window. And we need 2 1-pointers, but I think that's basically impossible. So we're thinking, and yeah, is there a way we can like cheat here? Okay, so what if I there's a Regenesis left. There's probably a hybrid release left. No, there's no hybrid release. There's no House of Knives. There is one sting. Which we would win if we steal a sting on the last click. I think, well, running on archives might just... Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I could... Yeah, that's true. I could try to run archives here. But, I mean, all it takes is for one oboe to still be in the hand, and that play doesn't work. So I'm not super convinced. Yeah, so one thing that could work is hit, steal a Regenesis, and then steal a Sting. But, so I could inside job R&D. One lose two. Lose one to House of Knives. Do I have enough money for that? So, yeah, can I get into... So I can get into R&D twice, I think. Inside job. No, I can't. Then I have to pay for the DNA tracker. I think he's got me. Unless he just didn't draw the 1-pointers. So we could just click for credits to prepare for a double access on R&D. No, there is one Regenesis left. I have stolen 2. And I think he plays 3 in his list, if it's the same one. So I'm expecting game now with the Regenesis here. Double advance. And this should be an oboe. Alright, good game. Well, if I'm gonna have... I guess I'll try to do a quick game. Maybe one more quick game with this. Alright, I'll bounce from this. So... Yeah, we want to maybe show one more game with the Maw Sable against something different. Oh, Asker, that is actually maybe the best play. I wasn't skilled enough to make that play. But yeah, it kind of it takes him not realizing that is a way to lose, to leave all the oboes in archives. So I prefer not to rely on that. So it's just like in chess, you sort of... I feel like if there is still an out, I just have to assume that he will make the best moves. If there is no out, then you sort of have to hope that he made some kind of mistake and then make plays based on that, because it will be your only way out. That's sort of how I think about it. Like, you only assume mistakes if that's what you have to do to win the game, I guess. Or, I mean, sometimes in Netrunner, you gain information that will let you know that they made a mistake, and then you can, you know, judge other things based on that. I mean, so they were safe in archives, but they were safe from being stolen. But since you pointed out that it's also a way to potentially deck yourself, because all the spin doctors are gone, then if he saw that that was the case, then he would not pitch all of them. But, I mean, it's still something he might have done. I'm just saying it seems like a mistake. Also, if I run Archives and it's Anemone, then I think I just die to net damage from the scores. Because I have one card, I lose one card to the Regenesis score and I'm at 0, and then he just needs to score another agenda. But then we don't know what the ice was. Okay, R+. I don't know what the R+ decks play right now. Double Share Gamble is kind of nice, and we have Maw. So I guess I'll keep. It's kind of risky to run early against this. So maybe no Maw right away. But at the same time, you want to start mawing so you get rid of HHN and Econ Warfare and stuff like that, if that's what they're playing. Alright, I guess he saved us the trouble by icing his servers. So we just draw. Draw. Gamble, gamble. Yeah, now's the... We may have to make some difficult choices here. Installing a Zenith chip when you have Maw in hand, you could lose your console. We do have another copy, so, like, do we take that risk? Okay, so the mark is R&D. We go info bounty, boomerang R&D, and try to collect our money. Don't want to go too low on credits, but we do have networking now. So that's nice. We let him have Spin Doctor. And I guess shuffle back boomerang. Scores a fly on the wall. Interesting. Sort of makes me think that it's some kind of... Well, it could be anything really, but maybe it's some kind of rig shoot build where you score fly on the wall, tomorrow's headline, and then trash pieces from the rig. Here we draw. So we can get rid of the tag for 1 credit. We have 2 clicks. Give mutual favor. Yeah, it could be the... Oh yeah, the Kikai build with fast breaks. That's possible too. He's actually on my team. I just forgot about the list. Okay, yeah, so get paperclip. Chesby, clear tag. Yeah, I don't like how careful we have to play with this list. This was the problem I was talking about, how hard it can be to get your successful run triggers for Crim. Yeah, I kind of want to install the Zenith chip to get it rolling. We risk losing important stuff. The Maw, the networking. We could draw once before to lower the odds. I think maybe the networking... It depends on what kind of R+ this is. The networking could be more important. We lose the Maw. Well, we do have another copy, so let's laundry archives. We get our card back from the chip. He's happy to see it, and we are happy for him. We install Daily Cast. Yeah, so we just need to dig for the other Maw. It's okay. Allegedly. Heavily icing HQ, but we do have Sneak Door, of course, in the build to get around that a little bit. We don't have a lot, if it is the Kikai build, we don't have a lot of ways to get around that, like Stargate, to avoid accessing one-pointers and just trashing them to archives. So you can discard things, and then we sort of we sort of want to be running archives because we get our click back, we get the money, we get the card. Now we're actually getting all that synergy that we want, but he probably stuffed the news team in there. Yeah, we still have to run there though. Yeah, it's the news team. And I think we'll just accept that archives is poisoned, or do we... I mean, we can take the 2 tags and clear with networking, and then just not run archives again, but... that doesn't sound that feasible. This is why Crim is bad this stream. No, but yeah, we're trying things out. But this kind of stuff is annoying. Do we take 2? Maybe I can take 2 to delay his value for a while. Oh right, he gets... never mind, he gets ID trigger, so this is not good. But okay, we did it. Probably was wrong, probably have to take it. Just accept it. Oh, whoops. Oh, he has to refresh. He shuffles back the news team. I'm gonna go ahead and say that has to be a mistake, because now we can farm archives for value if we get it as a mark, and there's really no need to allow us to do that. R&D is the mark. We do have paperclip, so we can install that, and we have Chesapeake as well to make that an affordable run. So I think let's go for that. Paperclip. Laundry R&D. So we can break it. So essentially we're paying 1, we get 2 back. We get ID trigger, we get a card. We get a steal. Nice. So I guess that deck plays Arella and stuff, so you may want to install Miss Bones. And we want to install the Tapeworm for sure. Yeah, let's put the Miss Bones down. Because we have max hand size 4, I don't want to be drawing, and clicking for credits is so-so. So we're finally at the point where we can start getting good value. But as you can see, this kind of the deck gets rolling pretty slowly. If they ice the correct servers. And the order that you draw the cards matters a lot too. That's another thing that makes for a good Netrunner deck, is one where the order of the cards doesn't matter that much. Can play Diesel. So if we go to 6 cards, we can still Bravado, get a card, be at 6, and we get a click back. So I think it's okay. But actually then, what do we do with the other cards? Yeah, I guess let's start with the Bravado. This will be sad if we draw Maw now. No! we lose our Tapeworm to the Maverus. Okay, Class Act. Yeah. Maverus did something. Install the Class Act and click for dollars, I guess. Still no Maw. And also we need our other breakers. We didn't get a mutual favor or another breaker, and those are what we need. Losing the Tapeworm is annoying, because it would have cost him a turn to purge it. Okay. So he's trying to score something here. And I feel like I should just try to get that card with Inside Job. Yeah, we should do it on the first click too. Yeah. To be able to clear whatever tags we get. And what is this card? Funhouse. Ouch. Gotta think. I mean, we take one tag. I want to see what this card is. Could just be QPM. And I guess, yeah, so it's 1 click and 1 credit, or 4 credits now. But we're gonna have to pitch cards then. So I can laundry R&D clicklessly and still be at 7. Yeah, so we're gonna have to pitch. I think I'll pay 4 to have to only pitch. To only pitch 1 card instead of 2. And it's QPM or Bologna, please. Yeah, it's QPM. Of course. All right. It's okay. We're not mad. So we do Carpe Diem. Well, I guess I miscounted. I guess I will be able to play 2 cards, so I don't have to discard. We get the triggers. Do I want a boomerang? I don't think so. Access Funhouse. Well, actually, maybe I have to discard anyway, because I mean, what's the point of playing another run event on R&D right now? Not much, I think. Well, I can just play Carpe Diem without running, of course. So let's do that. And then daily cast. Oh, my hand size is 4. That's why I had to discard no matter what. But what are we discarding? Yeah, I like all of these. I think maybe the draw is the most important. I guess Inside Job. I think the Duve can be useful at some point. All right. R&D is the mark, and it's probably Funhouse. I want to try to get the other breakers. Well, that's not it, but still. Tapworm is nice. Try to see what's in archives. And then we can install the Tapworm. And if this puts him below 5, it doesn't. But we could force the rest of the Funhouse then. A lot of Mavers. Really looks, I think it really looks like the Kikai build. I believe he was on that. I think we don't shuffle this back. Just wanna, we still have 1 boomerang left and we want to dig for the breakers. So we just install Tapworm. Oh, attitude adjustment. Freedom of information, post-truth dividend. Yeah, definitely looks like that list. Those are the agendas you would be playing. Yeah, we draw, of course. And finally we see Maw, but now we have to choose between Maw and Bookhalter. I think it's still Maw. Maw. And we don't, I guess, don't do anything else. Yeah, I'm doing things in the wrong order again, but yeah, because we don't want rests. Oh, whoops. We don't want rests right now because it gives we get less money from Tapworm, so we just leave things. I guess we're fine with discarding the Zenith chip. We don't need another one. Doofs probably don't do anything. Because these, well, it forces some rests. So it would force the rests on the ice, and then there's probably an upgrade here that can be rest as well. We get the Amina finally. So we can go Amina, Sneak Door, and then use the Sneak Door. And we have Mark on HQ, so we can get our click back. And we can actually break this magnet for free, make him lose a credit, so this is very good. Oh, nice. We get a QPM. And I guess we go again because we didn't get the Maw trigger. Run last click, right? Fast break, and we get to Maw card. So this is nice because it's a combo deck with fast break, and if we can clear out the fast breaks and stock buybacks that I think, yeah, there were stock buybacks in the list, then his combo doesn't work. And the only thing Rig is missing is Book Altar. And he's refusing to clear, to purge, I mean. Okay, so I guess in the remote there's Arela and a bunch of stuff. We could bravado it to check. But we don't have a way to break Turnpike. I think we get our card from chip first. Two mutual favor. No, one mutual favor left. Okay. That's why we've been having trouble finding those. All right, let's get more water. Gotta stay hydrated, folks. All right. Yes, we can keep the mutual favor, get the agenda, and we still want the Maw trigger, so we go again. Stock buyback. So we trashed a card that is not stock buyback. And I think I'll just click for credits and pass. We can pitch the chip. I'm a little greedy. I want to keep this tapeworm for now. But maybe it's too greedy, because putting the Book Altar on the board means we can bravado this server next turn and clear out the combo stuff. So probably a mistake. Okay, so I guess that's a Spin Doctor. So let's get that one first. Oh, it's not. Right. We can take the tags, actually. and then we can get a Maw trigger. So the tapeworm is giving us a lot right now. And take a credit, I guess. Because if there are no cards in hand, the combo is not really threatening, I guess. Resing Arella and Sansan now. Okay, scoring a QPM. So you can get an Arella trigger and score something else potentially. Okay, tapeworm gives 2. So if we bravado this, can't break the turnpike, so I take 2 tags. Potentially it's a tomorrow's headline, but we can clear all the tags. So yeah, it could be a good turn to go for it. So go with server 1. We let this fire. We could pay to not take the tag, but it's cheaper to remove it with networking. Continue. And Funhouse. Take the tag. Break it. That card might just... Okay, it's a Spin Doctor, not a news team. Access Arella. Get rid of her. And we trash the Sansan too. I think that deck was just playing, what's it called? Shipment from Vladisibirsk that requires 2 tags. What I would be afraid of is hitting a tomorrow's headline if we go for this sneak door run. Or maybe a news team. But, you know, what are the odds, right? Or, yeah, let's go for it. We can't hit a QPM, I guess. Attitude. So we get to trash a card with Maw. Okay. So we don't have the Book Altar yet to keep the tapeworm alive. It's working out so far. I guess this deck was not running Bologna's. You have 3 QPM, 3 Fly on the Wall, 3 post-truth dividend, 115 minutes, that's 10 points. Yeah, it plays Project Beal. So yeah, you're only running 1 pointers and 2 pointers. And yeah, now we're playing Never Advance, I guess. Yeah, are we at the point where we need to check every card in server 1? Might want to check archives first in that case. Because we want to install the book altar anyway. I think. Or we just keep the tapeworm. That's also fine, I guess. So how much are we taxed? We have to clear one tag here, one tag from this. We can break this. That's 4 credits though. So 6 credits, 2 clicks. It's okay, given that we still have tapeworm, I guess. Alright. I mean, alright, we're committing to it. Yeah, so a problem with this deck is lack of multi-access. Something that we have in the other Sable. So if the game goes on for a long time, you can end up in these never advanced situations. Take a tag. Access agenda. And I think again we try to maw. I mean, we could actually take the tags. Because there's no way to make use of Vladisibirsk on the next turn. That would mean he can trash the info bounty. But I think I'm okay with it. Then we maw it, I guess. And it seems like we don't need the mutual favor for now. It's true he can kind of exploit the fact that he knows we want to hit HQ. Oh, this could actually be the Vladisibirsk play if he drew the exact right cards. Okay, installing something different. I will assume that that's a Spin Doctor, I think. Could just be another news team. Fly on the wall. Alright. Guess we don't go for the remote this turn. Or do we? If the fly on the wall is worth less than the card he just installed, and if it's the list we're thinking of. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I forgot to do full screen, and I'm also supposed to zoom in a little bit. Let me know if this is good. Yeah, because I could just take the tags here. Yeah, let's do it. There's no kill in this deck from what I remember. Oh, but he could draw here actually. I forgot about that. But he doesn't draw. 15 minutes. Yeah, I think here maybe it's time to hit R&D. It's a fun house there, and we kind of stopped caring about the tags, I think. Wait, no. Sorry. Yeah, we'll just take the tags, I guess. Because Maw will deal with yeah, I think we'll just access the last agenda before he has a chance to do anything. Yeah. All right. GG's. A weird game. Yeah, Maw was so this is what Maw is. This is kind of the ideal scenario for Maw. You face a deck with a lot of operations, and you slowly make them lose the tools that they need to break. All right. So, damn, yeah. Netrunner games take a lot of time. All right, I want to play the Deep Dive Sable that I talked about at the beginning of the stream. I'm gonna take a short break. They'll be back, play some games with the Deep Dive Sable, and that's gonna be it probably for today. So, see you soon. Alright, I am back. We are gonna do some Deep Dive Sable games to round out the stream. Yeah, the Maw section took a lot more time than I thought it would because we had that really long game against PE. Music where Asker plays Waldhorn. Where do I find this? Oh, the one on the stream is too similar? I mean, I can turn the music off if you prefer. I still have it in the background now, but it's softer, of course. I could also change it for future streams. I have some other things I could play. I guess you can't play like whatever music you want though, unfortunately. Otherwise, I just have my Spotify playlist. We're up against Rick Astley, so we're not gonna click any links that he sends us. We know what's gonna happen. We're no strangers to love. I'm playing sports. And then I don't know what the parody lyrics are going to be, but... This seems fine. We have draw, we have some early econ. It's getting too warm in here. I have to open a window. All right. So I guess the first click can be drawing. We did get rickrolled. So face checking an ice against HB if they are below 6 credits should be fine. Actually, even Fairchild would be fine here because we can't. Well, no, we would potentially take a core damage, but that's fine. Yeah, we can sure gamble before we bravado. Sure gamble. Bravado server 1. It's nice to know what ice this is. Gatekeeper. So it's a good rest for him, but at the same time, now it's gonna be a bad ice later on. So, and he had a lot of agendas apparently. Project Vitruvius, Mega Pre, GFI. So we can run R&D. Get a GFI. Nice. This is a good turn 1, and we already have. Maybe I should actually have. No, it's probably too greedy. But like sometimes sports player would just put a 3/2 behind their first ice, and then we could actually get through that with Amino. But we're not doing that. If that's the case, then so be it. No, it's a Rashida because, yeah, if he actually wants to score the 3/2, then you want to be at 6 credits so that you have 2 credits left over. 3/2 agenda's what I'm thinking of. Okay, how do we respond? I think click 1 has to be drawing. Seems like a really ice-heavy sports. But it was on Mega Pre, so I don't think it's one of those PD sports. Diesel is nice for draw. So we have laundry, we have security testing. We could just pre-install a book altar too, maybe? Or we install. Yes, I could keep dirty laundry for next turn when I can use it with security testing. But then what is our last click then? Just taking money? Yeah, again, this is a mistake, but I think what I should do is draw. And pitch the security testing. The ordering is wrong, but it's okay. So yeah, on the deep dive deck, this from what I've seen so far, this deck seems pretty good against sports. Gets a bifurcation score, nice. He de-reses his gatekeeper. So while it is super strong the turn you res it, that seems like a bad play. Because we can even boomerang it to make it bad on the first res. We're getting lucky this turn. We got the Marcus Archives. So we can diesel. Get Carpe Diem. So then we can, or we put Carpe Diem back, so we can laundry archives. And then we can play 3 billion assets. I mean, resources. 1, 2, 3. Seems good. If he doesn't ice archives, we laundry into taproom is a really nice idea. Yeah, alright, so it's Spin Doctor. We still get archives as the mark. So I think we still put security testing there because we can boomerang into archives. Get some nice value. Can draw. We're getting close to having all our breakers, so the Shezva will soon be a decent card. Now I'm thinking probably the boomerang is misplaced on archives because we can just doof HQ. So I think that was a mistake. I think what we should have done is boomerang HQ, then doof, and probably after that, well, at least if he rests, then archives is open for laundry afterwards. So that's just me being sleepy. But this is still okay. Pops the spin. Then we know he can't abuse it with bifurcation, I guess. Okay, a lot of stuff in the remote. Telecast, taproom, security testing has to choose a server, which I guess is going to be archives. Because R&D seems hard to get into. I don't know that we have to run server 1 this turn. Could be a Mavericks in there. He was hesitant to run the ice to rest the ice on archives. So maybe still is. We got the mutual favor for the final breaker. So we can run archives again. We do get the money. Remaining clicks can be, well, actually we don't have the last memory slot that we want. So this is maybe a little bit out of order. We draw one more, play a Mina. Yeah. It was out of order. But I was thinking we were going to play Mutual Favor. We don't have the memory for it. Yeah, so he scores a Mega Pre, but we are fine with it. And then, yeah, instead of accessing the Avarice, he has to pay 3 to use it, so that's nice. Security testing will be on Archives again. So now we can get rid of the Trank with Miss Bones. We can Bravado, Archives. So yeah, click 1, Bravado, click 2, Miss Bones, click 3, run server 1 is an option. Ooh, Deep Dive, that's what we want. Bravado Archives. Trash this. Got hedge fund. Security test Archives again. Let's start by going for Archives, and then if he doesn't rest, I want to install Paperclip and Doof. Yep, let's go for it. We get the click back for this, and this should put him at either put him at 0 or he's not resting any ice, which is also fine. Get a click back, so we check server 1 then. And we trash the Trank. The rest cost on Trank is negligible anyway. So we're not going to wait for him to to rest it. It's credit positive on the first use. It's pretty good. We still don't have our console Virtuoso. That would help in this matchup. Okay. So mark on Archives. I think we don't have to deep dive right now. We can wait a little bit. So we draw first click. Docklands Pass is also nice for later. So let's run Archives. And I would like to run the Spin Doctor. Force the pop on that. And I think the play after that is drop Docklands and hit HQ. So again, this deck is faster. It needs fewer pieces to work. Nice, we hit a Vitruvius. That's perfect. We know there's Biotic now. If the biotic is used though, he goes to 0 credits, can get 2 back. Yeah, he's doing it. Although I guess if it's a hyperloop, that's still not a... Oh, it's a luminal, so he gets 3 clicks back. But a deep dive next turn could be game. So I think we don't... I guess we put security testing on server 1. Start with archives. Maverus. Run R&D. GFI. So the deep dive only needs to see 1 agenda now. Drafter, Audacity. And we go for the deep dive. We find Vitruvius and Megapre for game. Good game. We did not get rickrolled. Nice. Pretty good, yeah. Always decent to deep dive for the win. All right, let's do another one. This was a better pace. So this shows a bit of a better a deck that has fewer pieces. It's still not. It still takes a while to put together, but if you have fewer pieces, it makes it a little easier. This might be difficult for us because Thule, yeah, having us accessing extra cards with Virtuoso could actually be a downside against Thule. You could hit more agendas than you want, but we just need to be mindful of it, I guess. I'll keep this because it has a decent amount of economy. And a laundry we could use early potentially. So we always want to save a click before accessing. Draw. Gamble. We laundry R&D with 1 click left. Actually, it does... we always hit the Nightmare archives, but yeah, well, I guess we'll add it to the score area. Because we don't want those ontological dependencies to be easily scored. And I think Diesel and then Daily Cast. And this opens up Boomerang Doof Place, potentially. Draws, Ice R&D, install in server 1. Okay. So that's... yeah, if those are Mr. Hendrix and stuff. This is also another reason why decks always tend to... good decks tend to go towards including Stargate in the end. It's like you don't want to be having to access all this nonsense. So, Mr. Hendrick, we want at least 1 click left when we go for it. Well, we start by drawing. I guess Mr. Hendrick can't be used if they have 0 credits. Yeah, I think this is fine. Pitching the paperclip. Oh god, what is all of this? Yeah, it could be, one of them could be Jupstad Grid. And then Doof is so-so, I suppose. Like, am I supposed to run that? If I boomerang Doof HQ, I'm at 1 click, and then if I hit server 1, I'll take core damage. So maybe I wait until the mark is on HQ, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not a comfortable matchup when they have so many on-axis tricks. I mean, we can get another breaker out. Not sure. So I'm not super familiar with the Thule builds that are out there, so I'm not sure what they actually run in terms of ice. I figure Drafter is still good. So you would want Bukalter. And I want to dig more. And I guess I'll pitch Inside Job. Because ice, there doesn't seem to be a lot of ice in the deck. Alright, clicking for credits. Mark is still not on HQ. But I think I'll still try to boomerang here. Okay, it's Fairchild. Oh, it's Warroid Tracker. One of the most miserable cards in the game. When the runner trashes one or more cards in or protecting the server, trace 4. If successful, the runner must trash 2 of his or her installed cards. So I guess we just breach instead. That's nice. And we want to avoid the core damage. Seems like we need a miss bones to deal with the tracker. Yeah. I mean, of course you can't play Light the Fire. It's just like that card is going to be useless in a lot of other scenarios. So we know there's no agenda in the server, at least. And we can still draw our Miss Bones, maybe. Not yet. Just get the... I wonder if there's an ice. There's no ice that we're afraid to face check on 2 credits at least, so it's safe to check R&D and get our click potentially. Yep. Rashida. We can trash that. Check R&D again. Hedge fund. Yeah, so running this now. If there, I guess there's probably another Warroid tracker. And then we force the res, but do we want to? So if we run this, and it's Mr. Hendrick, we can lose our remaining clicks because we only have 1 click left. That's fine. Okay, let's try running server 1 and force the Warroid tracker res. Oh, we're allowed to access. I'll just get the tracker, I guess. And we pay the 4 because we want to keep our book altar. We access the rest of the stuff. So he can use Mr. Hendrik, but he doesn't. And we can clear that out. Yep. Mr. Hendrik. Can trash that too. Jupstad grid. He can't afford to res it. So for now it's okay. And Spin Doctor, that one I will also trash. Really, we're only playing 1 Miss Bones, unfortunately. Would have loved to see that before. Okay, so we play Tapworm. In case he just clicks for credits here. So the Nightmare remote is gone for now. But we basically don't have money anymore. That's the cost. And I guess this kind of build might be on stock buyback to just start gaining money from the fact that we have Nightmare Archive and so on. So I'm not that hyped. Okay, so restoring the Spin Doctor and stock buyback. Yeah, it is playing stock buyback. It makes a lot of sense. That card is already better than a hedge fund at this point. Yeah, I think so. The best idea. He just discarded cards. Might be a good idea to check archives. Just try to force this Spin Doctor. Although I could just run this Spin Doctor, so I don't hit any Nightmare Archives unnecessarily. We could start by drawing. Draw again. Run the Spin Doctor. And yeah, let's see what he shuffles back. Actually, none of the face down cards. So it looks like he just wanted us to run some Nightmare Archives or News Teams or whatever. Could play Class Act here. But yeah, then we're in a kind of an awkward position because we sort of need to run Archives next turn then. I'll just draw one. Problem is, again, we need to be running a server to get value from all of our cards, basically. So if there's a bunch of nonsense in archives, it's hard for us to avoid accessing it without our entire deck being null and void. Yeah, so installing something is server 1. Could also be Mavericks in archives, of course. And Nightmare Archive. We have our mark there. But yeah, I don't want to run it. So we install the Class Act first. And in case it's Mr. Hendrik, I suppose we want to go to just having 1 click left before running. Okay. Okay, it's Tempest. Okay, that's funny. So that means he can boost the trace and we take core damage. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I was not considering this card. I should be thinking about it. So we have to take a core damage, lose a doof, and we trash it. And I guess we keep the grid for now. And then just take a credit. All right, bunch of cards. Miss Bones is good. Security testing is even better. We don't need the doof. Yeah. Because with security testing, we can avoid accessing all the nonsense that is tucked away in archives if we want to. Okay, finally purging. Sure, gamble. And then I think it's got to be Miss Bones and cleaning up this grid. Before he scores a 2-1 and gives us a core damage. Minus points or accessing what he just installed. So could be an agenda, of course, and then from Thule ID we'll definitely take a core damage. But we'll have even. So if we don't, what happens then? So we take a minus point and we can run it next turn and avoid the core damage. Okay, so I guess we don't access it. And we put security testing on archives. So we can run archives first. It could be Mr. Hendrick too, I guess, yeah. And we learned that it can be Tempest as well. So I guess maybe saving one more click is a good idea. Let's Mega Pre. And then we draw again. Taproom is kind of nice. Yeah, it is. Oh, I forgot we have core damage. That's a bummer, but I guess we don't need the mutual favor. Yeah, you can use it both with agenda and Mr. Hendrick to either force -1 or core damage. Then, of course, if it's an agenda, they can steal it and it becomes point neutral, but then they have like 4 points in their score area, and you can play fast break and stock buyback and all that good stuff. Seems like a lot of decks are revolving around this now. We've seen today only we've seen PE, Art Plus, and Thule play this kind of fake points build. Okay, so archives is where we put the mark. Run here, get our click back. Amina. Check server 4. Another Mega Pre. That's fine. And then a Taproom that basically has to be purged. Yep. And after all this, we are at 2 points. Okay, that's good. At least we get archives again. So we draw. Yeah, Meridian wouldn't be that unexpected. credit Carpe Diem. We get our click back. And draw again. So we have the deep dive. But deep diving against Thule, you probably only want to do it when you can close out the game with it. Because then you can afford to take the core damage. So when we're at 4 or 5 points, that's when we go for the deep dive, I suppose. But that could be a long wait. But if we get Virtuoso anytime soon, we can start getting some free accesses. And now, okay, fast break to install 3 billion cards. Yeah. Yup. That's a server I will not be running. That's that's how I feel about it. We go archives. So yeah, we want to win off centrals. I guess we don't need the class act. Run archives, get the money. And we're gonna take core damage next turn, probably. So we could just lose the deep dive. Doesn't seem to be a whole lot of ice in this deck, so maybe Jazva is not important. So I could just install the daily cast and then keep the 4 cards we have to reduce the chance that we lose the deep dive. But yeah, so I'm expecting Jupstad, Grid Rest, Score, and then we'll be at 2 core damage, so Ontological Dependence can be easily scored from here. And it's a Luminal. We still lost the deep dive. Doesn't matter if you make the right decisions. You just still lose it. Okay. Man, what a miserable matchup. This is sad. Actually, people are mentioning Light the Fire, but actually the best card here would be Because I Can. If people don't remember, it's a Shaper. Oh, whoops. It's a Shaper event. Because I can. Well, okay, I'll just explain it. Shaper run event, you run a remote server. If it's successful, you shuffle all the cards back into R&D. That's what we need. We don't even need to take a core damage then. Okay, what the hell is happening? Installs a card in service 6. Yeah, restore to install Ikawa project from archives. Is that because restore reveals? Oh, it has to reveal because it's trying to res it, I guess. I think that's how the rule works. So we know there's an Ikawa project in the server. And it removes. Is that how that's how it works? You remove the other 2 copies of Ikawa? That's really interesting. Okay. So it was install, then restore on one Ikawa. Wow. Yeah, that's interesting. So the Ikawas take up 9 points. Gotta think about this. So the Ikawas take up 9 points of your deck. You're playing 3 Mega Pre. That's 12. Then you're playing 1 Luminol, 14, and then 3 Ontological. So what's left in the deck is 1 Mega Pre and 2 Ontological. So we need to... Yeah. It's not easy to score the Ikawa though. Yes, I think we just deuces. Docklands is nice. Gain 3. There's Virtuoso. But yeah, I think I still play it this turn. Because hitting an agenda right now, no matter what it is good. Even if we take core damage. Because we're stopping him from scoring it, I guess. Yep. We can actually pay the click. Not take the core. Is that worth it? But hold on, we know which card is Ikawa. So if he doesn't score it next turn, we can steal the Ikawa, right? It's the card in service 6 that's highlighted right now, the outermost. Yeah, so we just access it first, right? I think. And then we win. Am I missing something? Because all of the other cards trigger on access. What am I missing? Security testing on archives, I guess. There's something I'm missing, I guess. Because otherwise we just run and take the Ikawa. I guess I just take it. If there's Managarm, we just pay 5. Oh, it's Giordano. Now it makes sense. So we would have to pay 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. Yeah, I don't have enough credits to steal it though. If I knew about the Giordano, I could have had 12 now. That's still not enough to steal it because you need 2 more for the Ikawa. Damn. So I could play Shezva and Docklands Pass, hit HQ, access 2 cards, and get another click. Get click. Steal this. We just pay the click. Hit a hedge fund. And the Rashida. That we trash. I mean, okay, we just gotta steal the last agenda in the deck, the last, which is a Mega Pre. Read chat before accessing? Well, I'm not supposed to cheat, but I am. I'm getting lots of advice. He's resting Waroid, but why? Hengeki. So if I access the Hendrik, wait, do the minus points matter? Because if I steal the, I have to think. If the minus points, I don't think matter. Well, they mattered actually. I guess they mattered for fast break and stuff. But in terms of points, it doesn't matter, because if I steal the last agenda, he can't win the game anyway. So it's 9, 11, 15, 16, 17, 19. Yeah. So points wise, it doesn't matter. So he will pay 2 and I take a core. I mean, does the core? I guess the core doesn't matter. Does it? No, it does. Of course, he can score. Yeah, so I can't take the core. I won't access. Yeah. Giordano on R&D, I guess, to rule that out completely. And we sec testing on archives. Sure. So we could run R&D, have this Giordano be rest, so it's trashed for later. The Mega Pre can't be scored from hand, from what I can see. And we could take all of the Nightmare archives from his archives to stop fast break, because then he will overdraw. That's what I'm thinking, if he doesn't already have it. Yeah, let's start with archives. Problem is with playing bankroll in a deck that already relies a lot on runs is you are making your point of failure even more apparent. I guess I have to lose all remaining clicks, huh? Yeah, because otherwise I'd die to the core. Yep. Yeah, we lose the remaining ones. I guess we trash him. He's actually running out of money. He needs more stock buyback. Yeah, because the normal problem with these decks is already that if your opponent ices every server, then you're not getting value from your run effects until you establish your breakers. So adding even more cards that rely on that just makes it even harder. Okay, so we can actually get some accesses this turn. Yeah, we can, I guess, security testing. Well, do we use it? I want to be careful here. So we can see 2 cards from HQ, 1 from R&D. And I also want to check his entire archives. But the Hendrik was installed on R&D. Yeah, so I can run R&D. That's credit neutral. We can see 2 cards from HQ. I could run HQ 1 more time. All right. So we start with R&D. Hangeki. Hedge Fund Restore. So we have, yeah, if there's 2 Nightmare Archives, we can make it so Fast Break cannot be played, which I like. We add these to our score area. And another, actually, I guess that was unnecessary because we can just use Amina to lower his credit count. So I guess let's do that. Jupstad. So we know all the cards. None of them are Mega Pre. And I guess last click we draw a card or something. Maybe wrong. Maybe wrong to draw. Maybe I just take credits. And restore on a Rashida. All right, so we got it on archives. That is still 1 in 8. To find the agenda. No way to get in here. We have to check R&D, right? I think so. Fast break, which cannot be played. The agenda could also be on the bottom of the deck and therefore not be usable. I guess one problem with taking all these Nightmare Archives is we're never getting through Giordano. Oh, it's... Oh, I didn't notice this. Fast break is up to X cards. So he draws 0 cards. Okay. Well, that was quite a big mistake. Then we should not have taken these Nightmare Archives. I guess at that point it would still be 16 credits, so I don't think we can... Yeah, we can do it anyway. And I guess the only out is trashing all the cards on the top of R&D. Which I assume is not possible. There's gotta be an operation or something in there. Yep, Fairchild, Mr. Hendrick. Take the core, I guess. Yep, trash him. And I guess we know the rest of the cards. Oh, and that's gotta be GG. Oh. Yeah, good game. Just didn't find the last agenda. That was... I've never seen that interaction before. That was interesting. Removing the AKOS. Oh. Yeah, frustrating for this kind of deck where we want to be multi-accessing cards constantly. We're just hitting all these traps. But in the end, we did have a chance. We just didn't find the last one. All right. I'm gonna do one last game of Sable Deep Dive. If people have requests for coming streams, let me know. But this is gonna be the last game for today. And yeah, I'll get some water. Yeah, unfortunately fast break is up too. That's my bad for relying on my memory. And I guess I'll be right back. $4.19 for future streams. I could probably do that. Although I find it not that fun. But yeah, I could. Well, it is okay. I didn't make $4.19 work so far. So I felt I kind of gave up on it. I mean, the Sable is not doing that great either. But yeah, we could do some $4.19. I have some builds. And Ba wants to see Ob. That I am more excited about. Basically all the corps, I guess, I'm more excited about. Oh, this could be fun. We're up against Earth Station. Yeah. And we have the Virtuoso and Docklands to hit Stefan HQ. Dirty Laundry seems probably decent. Yeah, I probably want to try the spammy Ob at some point again. Again, seems like runners have So many things to worry about that maybe they can't properly tech against it. We get the mark on the wrong server. Draw the 2, gain the 3. So this is probably a Rashida. Sometimes you just want to run this ice, but it's better if you have a bravado. I think Diesel here is fine. I think maybe I can discard networking in this matchup. Although some Earth stations play hard-hitting news, so you don't really know. I'll just go for that. And hope it's more of a glacier build. But yeah, you don't really know until you see more slots. Oop. So that's the customary Chrysium grid, I think. We do have 1 missed bones, and if we get that missed bones, we can trash this grid without having to run HQ through Virtuoso. Right, so now we're getting that synergy. We can play Virtuoso, Docklands Pass, Dirty Laundry. Oh, there's missed bones too. But we'll do it on a later turn because we don't have enough clicks this turn. So we get to access 2. Laundry, access card from hand. Nice. It looks like a glacier build. Yeah, priority construction and the Chrysium grid that we let stay. And then we draw. Ooh, Tapworm will also be nice in the coming turns. So now there's ice on R&D and HQ, so we hope... Yeah, we did get lucky and get archives again. That's just pure luck. So let's see. These 2 are 2 clicks. I'm gonna get 1 click back when I run, so I can draw. So now it's Miss Bones, run archives, back at 2, install these. Yeah. So we run archives. Get the click, card from hand. Nice, we're getting all the agendas. We see a Tithonium. Prio, Wreck, and Tithonium we've seen. And we trash the Chrysium. Yeah, I would say actually I was practicing something like this with Sokka for Worlds last year. He was on the Earth Station side, and there were some crazy games, but this could, yeah, in some lines this really messes the Earth Station up, because you can get rid of the Chrysium without running HQ. The agenda sort of build up over time, and it's hard to protect from Virtuoso. Then there's sometimes you can, like on the remote, yeah, you can boomerang the ice on HQ to flip the ID and stuff like that. Inside job as well. Ooh, another Tapworm. Then I guess we'll put it down to get another turn. Yeah, that's when that works, it's so good. You just buy yourself a whole turn. There's another Tapworm. Yep, we keep going. Play the Tapworm. Maybe that time you could make a case for security testing. But this time, instead deciding to score this agenda. And we get 3 credits from the tap room. We draw. Can hit archives and get our accesses. Hostile. And this is game. Alright. Well, luckily this was a fast one. Good game. Alright. That was the last game of the stream. Thank you for watching. I think, in the future I might do some of the requests. Maybe 419. One thing I was also thinking about is just doing a stream where I'm kind of brewing Shaper, trying to find a good reg Shaper build or whatever else Shaper I can. I kind of like playing lat, so might try to find something good there. But I'm gonna head out. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. So, bye-bye.